You spend less time planning and more time playing.
I'm a golf citizen. Are you?
GolfCitizen.com. Search, book, play.
Newsstream. World Business Today. Amanpour. International Desk. Tonight on CNN.
I define as urban chic. Each collection have many colorful colors, and it's unusual for most of the Chinese designers doing. Our big picture of our brand is to still represent this as a local Chinese designer. We are proud of Made in China right now, and cannot say it's they 100% accepted yet, but it's like they've seen what we improved.
Even if they are big names inside China or certain market segments here, they're not known overseas.
Yes.
So what do they need to know? What's the advice for them to really take that next step?
Well, I think, you know, from a Lane Crawford perspective, what's been interesting is to see the evolution of, you know, as Huang was saying, the creative design process together with an understanding of the business side as well. So the understanding that it is critical that you meet your deliveries, that it is critical that your production is right, that your quality is correct, that you're merchandising to a price point, that you can see your collection hanging in a store with other designers as well, because it's not just about your collection, it's about how a retailer can create a total offer.
On top of that, I think they need to grow up from the Chinese way of doing business, which is all about connection. It's not about sales figures. It's not about building a sophisticated operation so you can deal with Lane Crawford and BNC and perhaps a buyer who might go to your showroom and buy from you, or Colette in Paris, or, you know, they need to design their function so that, because Chinese designers are so used to the Chinese way of dealing things, is that if I want Lane Crawford to buy from me, I'll just do the relationship thing. You know, I'll send lots of samples and I'll send cookies and I don't know, it's like this half-tea relation building and that sort of thing. But if they want to graduate to an international level and a professional level, they can't do that anymore. What we want is for you to deliver on time, for you to know what you're delivering, for you to be giving us quality products. It doesn't matter. All retailers want the same thing. And the more retailers that want your thing, the better it is. If China is going to really take a bow on the international stage of design, Chinese designers need to step out of that shell and understand how to deal with people on a more professional level.
You know, I'm hearing some great takeaway points for young Chinese designers or brands that want to just make it big. You know, they have to be persistent. You have to have a story to tell. But what are the keys to success, again, for brands, Chinese fashion brands, to make that big leap on the international stage? What would you advise?
I think have a very compelling point of view. Be able to look at your perspective in the context of a global fashion story, because whilst China's got some really fantastically creative designers, what's going to be important is the fact that they can differentiate themselves on a global platform, and that the message and what they're creating through their product stands on its own 2 feet.
Yes, I think a very unique language, a unique point of view is so important, is the most crucial for taking Chinese designers globally. Is that what you're doing has a very special language on its own, a very special point of view on its own that everybody can accept and everyone finds refreshing. I think having a unique point of view is an absolute must. On top of that, of course, also a very sound and financial backing is also very important to bring somebody from a studio into a major brand. And that takes big money, big assets, and big just a big partnership with somebody.
Do you think there'll be a Chinese fashion brand one day that will rival Prada, Chanel, Burberry? I mean, could that really happen soon?
I'd like to think that we're only a matter of years away from that happening. I think that you have manufacturing, you have the heritage, you have great education, you have people really sort of driving, and you've got a huge interest commercially in terms of what's happening in this part of the world. So you've got all the ingredients together to make that happen, and I think it's just a matter of time.
The fact that China went through a huge, very fast pace of growth, to some extent has influenced our designers, the young ones. They want to be famous tomorrow. They want to be that brand that you're talking about tomorrow. They want to be on the world stage, be the next Prada, be the next Karl Lagerfeld. It's not going to happen. It will happen in a couple of years, but it's going to go to a designer who is mature, who has developed their own language, who has commercially learned how to deal with international corporations and retailers and such, who is responsible to their investors.
And the other thing, the other important thing is, I think for us as designers, we have to think of how to be, I think the focus has to be on how to be good designers instead of good Chinese designers. I think referencing back to history and detail, all that can be burdensome, and it's not global, and it's a globalization of countries now. So I think it's more important for us designers to become good working designers, producing on time, getting things to the store on time, having our marketing strategies down-packed. All that is more important than being a good Chinese designer.
And with that, Chris Chang, Hung Huang, and Andrew Keith, thank you so much for joining me to talk about China's ever-evolving and ever-maturing fashion industry. Really enjoyed that. Thank you.